Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to build a dashboard by putting what we have learned in the training. So this dashboard is interactive enough as it allows user to choose whichever regions that they want to see, and then the data will populate accordingly and the dashboard will show the visual according to the selections. Let's say, for example, if they want to look at the Penang performance for the sales in Penang region, then how it goes, right? The dashboard will change accordingly. So I suppose you have downloaded the project file or the folders for this particular project. So in the folder you will find three things. One is the complete dashboard of itself, right? Another one is the working files that you will open it up and work on it, and also there is a logo for you to insert into the dashboard later on. Okay, why not, let's get started. Open up the Excel file that has no completed words in the file name, right? So that is the working file that you are opening up. So once you have opened up that particular Excel file, you will see four tabs. The first tab is about the description or the brief, project brief, and key questions that we need to answer, right? Still remember in the training I have walked you through that in order to get an effective dashboard, we should know who is the user of the dashboard and also what are the key metrics that can deliver to match the requirement of the requester. For example, in this case, that Amy, the COO of Irving's Toys Company, right? She said she wants a regional revenue dashboard that show and filter by region to show some key KPIs based on the sales performance, right? So with that, then by answering these questions, you should be able to gauge what type of KPI and the key metrics to be shown on the dashboard. So this is the first tab. So if you have time, you just go through and answer those questions. As usual, if you answer correctly or incorrectly, there will be a description and also the answer for you to take note. Yeah. So the second tab is about the data set is pre-prepared for you. So this data will be used for designing the dashboard. And the third tab are those key KPIs. So I know that if you have gone through the questions, then you will roughly know that what are the specific KPIs that relevant to this dashboard. So I have already pre-prepared, just to cut short some time, I have pre-prepared some of the KPIs that I think will be more relevant in showcasing it in the dashboard that we are designing later. Yeah, for example, right, we need to show the high level revenue, right, the current month revenue, the previous year revenue, and also the previous month revenue. By having all these the three top KPIs, then we can find or calculate the percentage difference year over year and month over month, right? So in a sales performance dashboard like this, we also need to show some key revenues or the revenue trend based on the monthly basis. Yeah, and perhaps maybe we also look into the store performance, because in the data set we do have a list of stores, so we want to see that how's the store perform for that particular month. And then based on the ranking, we can see that which store rank the first, the second, third, and so on and so forth, right? So apart from the stores, we also want to see which are the products that perform well and not perform well. So we do have a calculation or key metrics to show product performance. By showing a list of product performance not good yet, well, it is also best to show certain key metrics like top five products or bottom 5 products in the dashboard, so that the user have a sense or have an understanding which are the top selling products, which are the not bottom selling products, right? So these are the key components or key metrics that we need to take note. So some other things, like for example region filters, because we know that there is one requirement from Amy, which is the CEO or the user or the requester for this dashboard. She said she would prefer to have the dashboard have a selection process, meaning that she can select which region to show, and then after that the data will populate according to the performance of that region that she has chosen, right? So that is where there is a regional filter is there, and also in order to calculate the revenue and the month over month, year over year, right? So some typical things that we need to get ready as for the formularization is the current year. We need to know what is the current year, current month, previous year, previous month, and also previous month for that particular year, and also the current period. So these are some of the things that we need to get ready in order for us to point it to this particular cell later on to pick up certain value in order to calculate whatever metrics that we are preparing, right? So this is some explanation on this. And the last tab, if you see this dashboard tab, here is some kind like a wireframe that I put some layout of how our dashboard should look like, right? So there's no right and wrong, but this is somewhat I propose it to look like that. So we can rearrange this thing. However, there are certain key principles that we need to follow through. Of course, the title must be at the top, right? And also the logo, if you are putting the company logo or whatsoever, and the selections. And usually in a dashboard, the most important location is at the top left corner, because that is the place where people will look at it most of the time. So in order to make our audience understand the bigger picture, usually we will put the key metrics, which is the top level metrics, on the top left corner, or at least at the top level of your dashboard. For this instance, right, so the title, the selection process, and the key revenues, which is the total of all, will be at the top. And then it will scroll down, it will see that the sales trend. So from the total revenue, it will derive into month by month trending. Okay, then that will go to the next column. We'll see that there will be a store ranking. From the store ranking, there is also a related KPI to the store ranking, is to see that how's the store perform for this month compared to last month, which is the month over month by store comparison, right? Then we move on to the third layer, is to zoom it down to a more detail to show that how many products, the top 5 products that in the list that is best selling, or the bottom 5 products that is not selling very well. So these are some of the key metrics, and how it arranged is from the top left corner and slowly come down, and after that to the left. It's just like mimic how our reading patterns as human, right? We read from top to bottom, left to right. So designing a dashboard also follows such principles, right? So that is pretty much of how I would like to explain to you. First, in this particular Excel file, you will find these three tabs. So are you ready to start designing the dashboard? Okay, so before start designing the dashboard, we need to get the data ready. As in the training I say, right, there are 3 parts for an effective dashboard. Firstly, you need the raw data. The raw data is the one that is ready for that is clean data that you have pumped into this dashboard tab, data tab, right? And then you need to have a the bridge, in a sense, bridge between the data set and also the dashboard. The visualization is the calculation tab. Calculation tab is the data preparation, is to calculate all the key metrics out, and then only we visualize it in the dashboard tab, right? So that is how these 3 tabs need to have in any dashboard. Alright, so let's get started. First thing first, go to the data tab. So this is just a raw data, as raw as just a row of tabular data. Okay, so in order to create a dashboard, first thing first we are going to do is to format our data range, which is all this raw data, a data range, into Excel table, right? Excel table. So click on any of the cell and then hit Ctrl T. Ctrl T, then it will automatically pick up all the range, the range of those data in this table. and make sure that you check on my table has header in the dialog box, so that Excel know that the first row is the header for this table, and just accept OK, and this particular table data range will turn into a table format. By default, it will give you a such confusing color tone in the table. So what we can do is to click over here and then clear off the formatting for this table, and it will remain as clean as possible. Right, so this is now in a table format. How do I know whether it's a table format? If you scroll down, you see that the column now become the header in the top row, and if you scroll down to the end of the data range, right, so the shortcut is to click on any cell, hit Control and the down button. It will look for the lowest row, last row for this, and you will see that there is a specific so-called an indicator over here that shows that this is a table format. What good to use as a table is because if we continue adding more data, right, the table will expand and it will take in all the subsequent data that you add in as part of the data set for this dashboard. Right, so that is the very first things that you need to do, is to convert the data range into a table format. So secondly is that from this table format, you go up to table design, rename this table. Why? Because it is much more easier to point it back to this table if you know the name for this table. Okay, let's say for this instance, I name this table as data. Alright, once you type in data at the table name column here, blank space here, and you hit enter, then this table will rename it to data. Good, so that is the first step that we need to do, is to convert our data range into a table format using Excel table by the function Control T. Okay, so once we have already created the table, the next step is to populate the key metrics before designing it into a dashboard. So as I have already prepared all the key metrics for you to work on, so what you need to do is to fill in the blank, right? Not necessary to fill in the blank. I will explain to you some of the key metrics and also the formulas and the functions that we are using over here. First thing first, right? If you see all those commented with a purple color comment over here, meaning that we need to rename all these cells into a name that is recognizable, right? For example, in this cell, I want to name this, right? Right now, if I click on this cell, the name of this cell is B4. Usually, Excel will name the cell according to the row and the column indication, right? So if you want to use a name for this particular cell, because it is much more easier later when we type in the formulas and those, we point to the name instead of point to the location of that particular cell or the range. So let's do all the renaming for the cells that highlighted with the command, right? Example, the first one, let's rename this cell into region. So I name it as region. Okay, hit enter. So continue on with the current year, current month, and so on and so forth, right? So I will do it as quick as possible now. Alright, so those are naming the cell, but we also do need to name the range. Okay, other than specific cell, we can highlight the whole thing and then name this particular data range as a name, giving a name for the data range. So for this instance, I put it as month list. So I will highlight the whole range and put month list, right, and enter. Why? Because later if I want to type in any formula, I can type in month list as the range instead of go and select the whole range again. So that is how we rename the cell first, so that we will get ready to populate the content for each of the metric. Okay, so once we have renamed all the cells and the range, next thing what we want to do is to look for the region filter. As we know that the requester asking us to design a dashboard that allow them to filter based according to the region. So we need the region list. Want to know that how many regions are there in the data. So go here and look where is the region column. Oh, here there's the region column. But there are regions that is repeating over here. So how do I know how many regions are there in this particular column? So what we can do, we use one functions. Let me show you first. Right, first thing you need to select all the data in the cell. Right. Click on the first row, which is the second row for this instance, Johor, and hold on to Shift Control and the down button. Shift Control down, it will select all the cells for this particular column, and you hit Control C to copy it first. Right, so once I copy it, then I go to any of the column that is blank at the right hand side, and then Control V, it will paste all to that particular column first. Now the next thing I want to do is to initiate a function called remove duplicate. Right, because by removing duplicate, I only know that Johor is one, and then go down, there is Penang, another one, because Penang and Johor and other states are all repeated, so I don't want it to be repeated. I click on remove duplicates and just click OK. Now Excel has removed all the duplicate of 4,000 over rows, but remain the unique values, which are the 3 regions. Right, so now I know that in the whole column of D, there are only 3 unique name or regions. So what now I want to do is to cut this or copy this, whatever you want to do. Go back here and paste it over here, so that I know that in the region I have 3. Right, I have 3 regions to sort out. Right, so after I have all these 3, then next thing is that this is the selection, meaning that which is the one that I'm selecting, so that I can trigger all the data, point it to the selection of the regions that we have selected. So at the moment, don't need to do any selection thingy first, because we want to populate all the key measures first. So by now, I think we just type in a dummy selection. Type in Johor, right? Either you want to type in Johor, you want to type in Penang or Kuala Lumpur, just type in first as a dummy selection, so that we can populate all the data. Okay, now, so we have done with the region filter and also the dummy selections that we hard code it for now. So what's next to do is to populate all the data set, or all the required metrics in this particular template. So like current year, so instead of type in the current year, I want to formularize it. So I have made your life simple. I have already embedded, or so-called hidden, some formulas for you to take note. Yeah, so like current year, where should I pick up the current year from the table, and how should I pick up? I can pick up by using this particular formula called equals to max data bracket year. So still remember, just now we have named the table as data, right? So that's why in the formula, I want to find the maximum year in the data table for in which column. That is a square bracket, that is the column for the data table, which is year, this one, right? Column A, which the header is already named as year. That's why this formula is already pre-prepared to look for the maximum number, which is the year, the maximum in the year column in the data table. So that is how this formula came about. So you just copy this one and then go back to this column, right, this cell, and paste the formula in and just hit enter, it will automatically pick up that particular data, right? So continue on doing so for the remaining all the data filters. So each of that at the side, there is a hidden formula for you to copy and paste it on, right? So let me now continue with the rest, right? For example, this one, current month, I want to look for current month. So the current month is max if, because I have criteria, right? I have criteria, more than one criteria. Let's say max if. Where do you want to look for that data? It is in the data table for the month, but my criteria is that data year must be the current year, right? So the data year, which the column in the data table must be equal to the current year. Which is the current year? The current year which has already picked up 2021. So that is where this formula is all about. So I just copy this formula and then, as usual, paste it into this cell, and it will automatically pick up the current month is 7. See whether it's true or not. Go back to the data. Year 2021. We scroll down to the end. 2021, right? Go down. So 2021, the maximum now is only 7 because I have not populated the month number 8, which is the August data. Currently, the maximum data set that I have is up to July. That's why in this particular cell, it picked up the current month is July, right? So let's look for previous year. Previous year is very easy. Just current year minus 1. Then you will have the previous year shown, right? Come here, double click, and it will show 2020. Then previous month. So previous month is equals to previous current year equals to 1. If current year equals to 1, because let's say if previous month is, current month is January, previous month will be December, right? So that's why this formula is that to give a statement saying that if current month equals to 1, then my previous month should be 12. But if my current month not equals to 1, then I need to minus the current month to get to the previous month, right? So that is how this formula is all about. I just copy this formula and, as usual, paste it into the cell, and you will have this, right? Let's look for previous month year. Previous month year, the formula is where I want to calculate for that particular month but last year, or right? So I just copy this one and put it back here, and you will see that previous month year, or the previous month year, that means it's current month current year, right, which is 2021. Okay, so current period is where, because right now all is in number, right, all is in numbering, but I want to pick up current period to show that in to spell it out in what month, right? So what I need to do is to pick up the month spelling in the data range at the bottom. So the formula is to use VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP what? VLOOKUP the current month, which is 7, right? 7 from where? From the list that we have already named, which is called month list, and which is the column that you want to return it to, which is the column number 2. This is July. So once this formula go down and look for the 7, why? Because the current month 7, and then they'll look for the second column and pick this wording July and replace it into the cell, and then close it up with the current year. That means it's July 2021. Let's see, yeah. Let me copy this formula and then put inside this cell, and you will get this July 2021, right? That is how it works. Okay, so that is pretty much about how we set this date filter first before we continue on with the rest of the formula. Okay, so let's continue on with the rest of the key metrics, right? As usual, I have hidden some of the formulas so that we can cut short some time in order to do this particular exercise, yeah. So some key metrics like the high level KPIs, I want to know the current month revenue, total revenue, and also previous year revenue and previous month revenue, and then we can calculate what is the year over year difference and month over month difference. So to get the total revenue for that current month, the formula is here. So click on the F3 cell, you will have this formula. I'm using SUMIF. Why? Because there are criteria in looking for the total revenue. So where to look for the revenue is in the data table. So remember, we name our table as data. In the column of revenue, that is where this particular syntax, data square bracket revenue, is where we are looking for that particular data source. We need to SUMIF, meaning that sum all the total revenue, but with the criteria where data region equals to, or data region is same as the region, which is the Johor that we have already identified, right? And data month, which is the month in the month column for the data table, must be equals to current month. Current month is July, which is 7. And also the last criteria is that data year in the year column must be equal to current year, which is 2021. So if you copy the whole formula in, then you should be able to get the sum of that revenue for that particular criteria, which is region Johor in year 2021, and all the line items for July. So that is how we calculate for current month revenue. Let's look for previous year revenue. Similar formulas we are using. SUMIF. From data revenue, what is the criteria? Data region must be same as the region. Data month same as the current month, but data year will be previous year, because we want to compare this month this year with this month same month last year. That is how we are using this formula. Let's copy this formula in and you will get the result, right? So let's continue on with previous month. So previous month, same formula also, get it from data revenue, data region, which is same as Johor, right? And then, but we need to look for data month in the previous month, and data year must be this year lah. I mean the previous month year, which is 2021. Okay, let's copy this formula in, and then you will have that detail. Right, so once you have these three key metrics, now we want to calculate year over year percentage change. So the formula is E3 over E4 minus 1, which we will using current month, right, revenue with E4, which is previous year for that particular month revenue, right? If you copy in this, then you should be able to get the percentage difference, whether is it positive, negative, right? Same thing for this, right? You just copy in to look for month over month, meaning that I want to compare this month and last month, whether am I performing well. If positive, meaning good lah. If negative, meaning not good. But do you realize that the color changes, right? The color changed to green instead of black color. Why? Because we have putting in conditional formatting. Still remember that we can change the color of the text if we put in certain formula. Why? Because I already put in the formula, that's why you can see the color. If you want to check what are the rules that we have applied in, is click on the manage rules, and you will see that these are the rules, right? If the cell is below 0, then the text is red color. If the cell is above 0, the text is green color. Okay, so that is the rule. If you want to check, click on the cell, go to conditional formatting, and see the rules that will be applied there, right? So let's check this. If I put negative 10, right, should it be 10? Should it be red color? Let's see. Yeah, enter. Yes, it changed to red color. right? But because I use formula, so I shouldn't hard code it, so I Ctrl Z to undo it to get to the formula, right? So this is how we get the key metrics for the key KPIs that we want to show as the top level in our dashboard. Okay, so after having the key metrics for the KPI to look into the total revenue, now we want to see how's the trend look like, right, for the revenue for that particular year or compared to previous year. So I have these particular key metrics over here to show a table like this to show the revenue trend. So I have month from January to December, and I also name this as 1 to 12 for the count of the month, right? So you will see that this column is 2020. Why I have coded this, or so-called put in a formula, this equals to previous year, which is the previous year. You'll pick up from here. So meaning that if we change, if the data set change anything, the here will change, and then it will trigger to change in this particular table, right? So same for 2021, it will pick up the current year. So now, in order to fill all the content in this table, still the same, we use the formula that I have prepared. So on top over here, you will see that there's some formula hidden. But the only thing that you need to take note, so sorry that I have copied the wrong, there is some mistake in this formula. The mistake is that you need to delete this bracket complete, right? Bracket complete. So in any formulas that you see a bracket complete, please help to delete it first. Delete the bracket complete like this. In this formula, I have 2 instances where I put bracket complete. Delete it so that this looks now clean enough to be used, right? Delete whatever is bracket complete. Same thing for this one. You see J1, I also have bracket complete. I need to clean it up first, right? Because there is some little mistake or minor mistake that I put into the formula that I need to touch it up now, right? After deleting all those, okay, now these 2 formula is good to use. How to use this? Click on the formula, the hidden formula, and just copy and apply it to the cell, right? So you have this, and next thing, simple, just drag it down to refer it to which month, and then also where is the revenue that picking up from according to a month and the year and the region. So remember sum if, right? We are using sum if formula. Sum if formula meaning that data revenue, data table and revenue column is where we want to pick up the numbers. The criteria is that data region must same as the region that we have selected, and data month must be same as the month for that count over here. Do you see this month, right? G4 here, month 1, month 2, month 3. So that's why it will relatively relatively refer to the each month and then pick up accordingly, right? So that is the, and year also it will go according to the year on top over here, 2020. That's why we have a list of numbers or revenue total up for that particular month, right? Same thing for 2021. We copy this one, right, and then put it in, right, and drag it down. But you will realize that there is NA over here because we don't have the result yet for 2021. The result that we have in the data set is up to July. That's why you will see that it's up to July have number. Whatever that you don't have, I put NA instead of 0. That's where this particular formula came about. If, right, if current month more, if G11, where is G11? G11, right? G11 is more than the current month. The current month right now is only 7. So if it's more than current month, then we will code or we will include the cell as NA. So if it's not, then it will apply the formulas that we have already prepared. So that is why you will see that we will have NA for the month that have no data yet, right? So this is just to get prepared lah. In case that we have pumped in data, then you will fill in the data. Okay, so that is how revenue trend is being populated. Okay, so after having revenue trend, the next table that we want to fill, the key metrics that we want to look for is the store performance. We want to see that how each stores perform based according to the revenue and the previous month revenue, and want to check the month over month differences, and we will rank them accordingly. So that is how this table works. Yeah, so in order to get the store listed in this table, we go back to our data source and see where is the store column, right? The store column is in here, right? Store location, right? But there is also some other duplicate stores because this is a tabular data. So what we need to do is to use back the same method in deleting whatever duplicates and remain the unique name for that particular location. Repeat the same step, click on the second column, which the top level of this data, and hold on to Shift Control and down arrow. It will select all the cells for this particular column, and you just hit Control C. Control C is to copy all, and same thing, go back to any of the blank column on the right hand side and click on it and Control V, paste it here first. Why? Because we want to delete whatever duplicate and remain the unique name only. Okay, so since it's still selected the cell, go to data tab over here, data tab, and initiate the function or the formula function called remove duplicates. Click on remove duplicates and just apply, just click OK. Then Excel has removed 4,000 over duplicates value and only remain 10 unique values remain, meaning that these are the 10 stores that is uniquely represented in column C, which is the store location. So we cut this or copy this, whatever it is, but I cut it for now, and then I paste it into this. So meaning that I have a list of stores already here. Now, after having the list of store, now we can do the calculation for revenue for each of the stores and also the previous month revenue, and then we will apply formula to calculate the month over month difference, and then we will rank it. Right? As usual, there is formula hidden in the table. So on top of here, you see that there is hidden. So do we have any bracket completed? That one? No, don't have. Yeah. If have any bracket completed, you need to clean it up because there is some minor mistake that I have made. So sorry about that. So for now, no. So it's clean enough to use. Also same, we are applying these sum if functions, right? Because there are criteria that we put in getting to the submissions of the revenue. So where is the data that we're looking for? In the data table, inside the revenue column. That's why this particular syntax is such. And then the criteria is that data store location must be equals to L4. L4 is this particular, alright? L4 is here, school die, right? Then data month equals to current month and data year equals to current year. That's why if you copy this particular formula into this cell, and then you will see that it total up the revenue for school die in that region, in that month, or no, in that location, store location for that particular month and for the particular year, right? So I drag it down and then it should have all populated. Okay, let's look into the previous month revenue. Also same, there is a hidden formula. Same thing here is talking about also same model for revenue, but the difference is that we are looking for the previous month, right? This is looking for current month revenue. This is looking for previous month revenue. That's why you will see that data month equals to previous month instead of current month, and data year equals to previous month but this the current year, right? So all this is picked up from the one that we have configured at the date filter here. Okay, so here we copy all from the same formulas and then apply here and then drag it down. It should calculate all for us. Now once we have the previous month and current month, it is easy for us to calculate the difference. The formula is here where we are applying it back to this particular cell, and then drag it down, it should be able to show you the difference between the current month and the previous month, right? Because we have hard-coded this one, so we don't know what is the ranking. Some might be a bit low and a higher percentage, but we want to use a rank formula to give us a perspective of how this particular store is being ranked among all the different stores listed here. So the formula is up here, rank, right? Rank average. This is rank average, but I can rank normal, but I rank average. Yeah, what to rank? To rank M4, which is the M4, which is the value, right? Where is the range of the things that we are looking for, and then is it a ranking to ascending or descending? Just copy this one and then apply it. You will see that now this is rank number 2, and if I drag it down, you will see that this is rank number 10. So the ranking is based to the revenue, right? Because it's M4, we want to see the ranking based on the revenue, not based on the month-on-month percentage, yeah? Based on the revenue, the current revenue. So once we have the ranking, now because the ranking is not go according to the order, in order, ascending or descending. So what we need to do basically is to redo the store performance by sorted it from 1 to 10. Why? Because every time when we change to different selection, let's say for example now if I change to Penang, right? So the data will change, and then you will see the ranking will go according to different type of ranking, because different stores that will be performance will have a different ranking, it will change. So in order to get to the ranking correctly, let me change back to Johor, right? So we need to Johor, right? We need to so-called hard code it, like the rank from 1 to 10. So now after I hard coded it from 1 to 10, now apply the formula to look back into this particular table and populate the content for this table. So same thing, there is a formula hidden up here, and this time I'm using index and match. Still remember we learned about index and match is to look, it's like a GPS, it's like a map. This is the whole map, right? If I want to look for rank number 1, what is rank number 1 for store? Then it will look for rank number 1, go to rank number 1, and then go and pick up where is the store, and this is the one. By using the index and match formula, then it will pick up this one and then apply it to this particular cell, right? So and so forth for other things, right? So go and copy this particular formula and then apply it here, and you will see that it will pick up Iskandar, and then we just drag it down, you will see that it will pick up accordingly. Same for the region over here, you look for what? VLOOKUP, right? Once we know that it's a store, from the store, then you use VLOOKUP to look for the store location, and then look for the regions in number 2 to get the revenue up for this. Yeah, that is for revenue, sorry, that is for revenue. For region, we just apply this particular VLOOKUP, and then it will pick up that is the region, right, from the data store location table, right? So drag it down, it will show all the region. Okay. So the revenue is the one that I said, using index and match to get to the revenue number, because we know the ranking. So once we know the ranking, it will point it back to where is the row and the column, and we get that thing by using index and match. Just copy this and put it in, and you will have this, and drag it down, you will have all the revenue. Okay, same thing for month over month, right? So using index and match also, apply it, copy and apply it here, and you will see that you will have all the percentage calculated, right? So that is how we choose this particular index and match. Okay, just ignore these 2 columns first, because these 2 columns is to help us to visualize our chart more better, but right now just ignore it first for now. Okay, so the next metrics that we want to populate is to look for the product performance. So you see that from the top level of top KPI to see the revenue by month, and then we will see into store performance, right? Now down to the level of product performance. So these are the tables that we are going to perform product performance. Okay, so in order to populate the data in this table, we need a list of product. So what are the list of products that we have in Irvin's Toys Company? Right. Go back to the data table and you will see that the products that we have is all the listing under column F, which is the product name. Same thing, because this is a tabular data, we have all the products being repeated in the cell. So what we can do is to repeat back the same steps, right? Shift Control down to select all the cells and hit Control C to copy it first, and go out and look for any of the blank cell or range or column in the right hand side and Control V to paste it. So since it is still selecting all the cells, you go to Data tab up here and look for Delete Duplicates, and it will help us to delete all the duplicates for about 4,000 over duplicates value, and remain only 34 unique values remain over here. I click OK, and now all the 34 is listed here, right? So what I can do is I just go and select all for this particular range and hit Ctrl X to cut it and paste it into my product listing. So I have all my product listing. So now I want to look at each, count the total revenue for this particular product only. Alright, so how to do that? I apply the formulas over here. Right, the formula is here. I want to look, it's a criteria built-in formula or functions. Sum if is where I want to sum all with criteria for the data table revenue column, where the data region is equal to the region that we have selected, data month equals to the current month, data year is to the current year, and data product name equals to the product name listed over here. So remember, there is a minor mistake. Yeah, if you see any bracket complete wording, you have to delete it. Yeah, so sorry about that for the minor mistakes over here. And hit enter. Now this particular function formula is good to use. Copy and paste it here, and you will see that it listed. And I just drag it down until the last product, then I have it, right? Same thing for product revenue, not product revenue, previous month revenue. There is also a formula. The formulas still syntax almost the same as what I have explained, but this one is for the previous month. That's why you will see that the data month, they are looking for the previous month instead of the current month, right? Same thing, there is a bracket complete. I need to delete it for the simple mistake or small mistake that I have made. And then I just copy the whole formula and put it into this cell and just drag it over, and you will have all the data populated. Okay, so same for month over month. Over here I just apply this formula, and you will see that I will get this particular month over month, whether is it positive, negative difference between month over month, right? Okay, month over month difference. Okay, so I want to rank this positive to negative, right? Why? Because I want to create a table to show the top 5 and the bottom 5, right? Top 5 and the bottom 5 products. So I'm using a ranking format so that later I can pick it up based on the ranking over here and populate the data in this particular top performers and bottom performing product. So to use the ranking formula function, same thing, go up here and you will see that there is a so-called cheat sheet already. You just copy and paste it in, right? And I just drag it down it will show that the ranking is positive, meaning it's ascending or descending, the order. So ascending and descending order is positive and negative, right? For this one, I put same formula, but it's an descending order or ascending order. So either one, I can't remember which one, but as long as I make it into descending and ascending, right? The formulas are the same. The only thing that you see the difference is 0, right? 0 meaning that is the ordering of, we click on this one, 0, let's see, say 0 meaning descending, 1 meaning ascending. So that's why I put 0 for this. I am descending the order. 1 here meaning that I'm ordering it in an ascending format. Okay, why we need this? Because here, as I explained, I want to populate the ranking based on here. If I say this one is 1 to 5, meaning that the top 1 to 5, I'm looking for something that is from this column. So if I want to look for the bottom 5, I will look for this column, because number 1 is the most lowest number, right? So that is why we need the ranking in a different way like this. So let's populate the cells in this table and the bottom performing table. Same thing, I have formula embedded. We are using index and match again because we want to look for the things in this map, so-called the range of data. So if I know rank number 1, in this range, rank number 1, what is the product name, right? What is the revenue and what is the month-over-month difference? Okay, so here I just copy again this formula and apply it and just drag it down. You will see that it's populated. Same thing for revenue, just copy it and then drag it down. Same for month over month. Over here I copy all this, right, and put it in and drag it down. Done, right? So how that is the quick way of doing that, instead of you typing all the formulas out, all the functions out. So same for this one, I just copy and paste and drag. So you just repeat the steps, right? Over here I have the hidden formula, copy, paste and drag, right? Copy for month over month difference, paste and drag. So now we have all the data is being populated from the top level, right? KPI to the revenue trend to the store performance to the product performance, up to the level of looking into the top 5 and the bottom 5 performing products. So that is how we have populated it. So the next thing that we want to do is to visualize it. So now we have all the calculation ready. The next step is to visualize all this table into a visualization format so that we can put it into the dashboard as part of the visual. Okay, so for the next step is to visualize it, right? So we have all the data ready to be visualized. So first thing first, you see that this is the proposed wireframe that I have already prepared. So what we can do is to just replace some of these with visuals. For sure, the first one is the title. I just give a title name, call this as a regional revenue dashboard, right? So I don't need this is just a text box. I don't need the shape. I don't need an outline. I just delete the outline, right? So the second thing is to let people to select, right? This particular region or this particular area is for the selection. Okay, so I can put in this as a region, right? Okay, just a text box like this, and then for them to select, right? This is just a text box and I don't need to have the outline. Okay, so what we can use for selection purposes, we can use the drop down box, right? The combo box. So we can insert from the developer list and then insert a drop down. This is the combo box, right? The form control combo box, and I just draw the combo box and configure this combo box. Right click, go to form control. It will ask where is the input range. Input range meaning the selections that the audience or the user can use to. Right click on this one and go to data prep. These are the selections that they can select from. Right, and then where is the cell link? You want to link because it's always return a number. Right, I want to return it to maybe next to it first over here. It's a 3D, then just click OK and just trace it out. So the selection, you have all the selection. If I click Johor, then let's go and see whether here is always number 1, right? Because Johor is number 1, Penang number 2, and KL number 3. So how can we code this particular area so that when it shows 1, I want to show the wording as Johor. So this one we can use the function called if, right? So if or if as, if, right? If, nested if, like I can use equals to if, right? If this particular one equals to 1, then I put the name and then it will be this one, right? Else, if again number 2 equals this one equals to 2, then it will be this one, right? Else then it will be Kuala Lumpur lah, right? That is how it works. Then I close all and enter. You see it's Johor because it's number 1, right? Let's test. If I choose this to Penang, should it be show Penang number 2, right? Then you pick up Penang. So what if right now I choose 3 at KL, it will be number 3 and will pick up KL. So you will see that it will change the number, go accordingly. Let's say now you see that the revenue, total current month revenue for KL is 94k. Let's say now selection, now I change to Johor, then you see 59k, no more 90 something k just now, right? So because it changes the selection over here based on the combo box, right? I can now move this combo box maybe nearer to here, okay, so that when they select, it will choose accordingly. So next thing is I want to visualize this particular text box. Okay, where I can get this number out from the text box. Okay, this is a text box. If I want to use this text box as a number, to pick up the number from the data cell, I just let's delete all the thing first, and then this one, instead of type it here, right, I want to pick it up. So this will be equals to what? Equals to the data prep, the total number over here, then I put OK, enter. You will see that it will pick up the numbers from this cell and it will include here. So make sure that you insert it in the formula bar here, right? Not typing inside the box here, in the formula bar. So once we have this, then just use formatting, go to home, increase the size for this particular number and maybe centralize it. Okay, centralize it. And if you think that don't want the make it bold, right? And if you don't want the color for that particular box, we can anytime turn this into no fill and it has picked up the large number. Okay, so that is the large number. The second one is to pick up from the year over year different and also month over month different. Okay, so over here, let's say over here, let me do this for the first one first. Month over month, I delete it and use the formula in the formula bar equals to where I want to pick up month over month, right? I pick up this one and then enter. You see that it will pick up this particular percentage. Okay, and then I just put it nearer. Right. The problem is if you use a formula to pick up the number, it will remain the formatting of this box, red color. But I have already formularized, right? Make it to conditional formatting. Whatever that is negative number, it will show red color. Whatever that is positive number, it will show green color. How can I configure it for this text box? It can't, yeah? We can't configure accordingly. But what now I want to walk you through with another trick. Another trick is, instead of picking up by using a formula, we can use what we call as a link image. So over here, like this one, month over month, right, is already formularized, is already condition formatting to the color. What I can do is that I go to this particular cell, right click, copy this cell first, go to the dashboard here, right, click and anywhere, right click, right, instead of paste, you go to paste special, there is an arrow, click out, go down, you find this link picture. Click on link picture, you will see that this picture is being linked as a picture format, and the color and the shapes and all these things will pick up. But the problem is that you see the border. Why? Because the border, it will pick up the border from this cell. So what we need to do is to make this into cell into white color, not say no fill, white color. Once you make it to white color, you go back to dashboard, you will see that now this particular image link picture has gone, the border has gone, it's just remain like this, right? So instead of using this text box, I will link picture so that I can have the color according to the color that I have for the month over month, right? So same thing for year over year. I will also make this into white color first, and then I copy, Ctrl C also can, and go back to this dashboard, right click, you click on any of the cell, right click, go paste special, go choose this link picture, and then make it big, right, almost similar size as just now that one, right? If you want to be exact size, you look at this one, is maybe we change it to 1.5 over 6, right, 1.5, right, 1.5, then it will automatically change this one, and click on this one, I change to 1.5 also, and you will see that having the almost similar size, right? So then I put this over here, right, okay, picture format. If you think that it's overlapping, it is too much white space over here, you can click crop, and then crop this part and this part so that it only remains the percentage part. Same thing for this one, you can crop, because it's a picture format anyway, but this picture is linked, right? So you see the top level now, because of Johor, is 59k, and month over month is 29%. What if I change to Penang? You see that it changed to 65.8, and you see, this one is a picture, how come it changed? Yeah, because it linked back to the cell that I have over here. If this cell changed, the picture also changed, because it has linked it back to that particular cell. Okay, so we have the top line key visuals for the KPI. Now just put some description over here, as in like we want to show that it's 12% of what, 66% of what. So over here, let me copy this particular thing, right, copy, and then go back here just to add a text box, right, add a text box. Maybe I insert a text box over here and just type in this thing so that people know what is this all about. Yeah, so make this into bold, and then I will copy the same text box, right, and then copy the wording as it is for the year over year different, and put it here, right, and also maybe tidy it up by adding some lines and the shapes, right, some line to differentiate that this is the top line, and then maybe as another line just to differentiate it to these two columns, and maybe into straight, right, and these two line perhaps make it into a lighter color or a bit lighter gray like that. Okay, so that it can differentiate. This is the top revenue, and these are the comparison year over year, month over month. For the next visualization, we want to create a line chart for the revenue trend, right? A best practice in showing a trending data is by using line chart, So what can we do is to highlight all the cell area and go to insert line as line chart, and you will have this line chart. So this line chart is just a default looking chart that we need to tidy it up. So how to tidy it up? For sure, title we don't need because we will be putting a title in the dashboard itself. So secondly is, you see that all this numbering is to big digit, so we want to custom format it to look it into a more pleasant looking. So right click to format axis, and you go down, you see that this number, right, it is in currency right now for sure, but I want to take away. So take away the zeros at the back, so I can put another comma at the back and then add in K, meaning that in thousand, right, in thousand. So then I just click OK, add, and you will see that the wordings now shortened to 80K. So in thousand, right, 80K. And the next thing is that because this range is so near to each other, I will change the range. Instead of 10,000, I will change it to 20,000, so that it will ranging to a more nicer, clearer thing. Because this particular chart, the intention is to show, to see the trending and not to get to the details of the total revenue, a trending like this. So the next thing I want to touch up is that perhaps we don't need the grid line, and maybe bring back this particular axis line. I go here, I go to the paint bucket line, I fill this line with a gray looking axis, and you will see that I will have the axis line, but there's no tick mark. So what I can do, go back to this axis, format axis, and there's a tick mark, right? Tick mark, I want to show major and cross, and you will see there's a tick mark crossing. Same thing for the x-axis. Click on the x-axis and then go to the right click to x-axis, format axis, and you will see there's a tick mark. You change major type, you change to cross, and you will see there's a cross. Okay, the problem now is that the chart and the legend not same, because the series one, what is series one? We want to give a name to the series. Series 1 we know is a year 2020. So what we can do is to click on this series, right? Go for select data on top, click on select data, you will see this dialog box pop up. What I can do is that click on series 1, click edit, and it will ask where is the series name. Click on this particular button and look for that particular cell, and just click back this thing and just click OK, and now the series changed to the same as the cell 2020. Repeat the same step for series 2. Click on it, click edit, click on series name, choose the cell, and then just click OK, OK until you get this, and OK. You will see that the legend now is at the bottom here to show exactly like this. But sometimes I will just want to put this legend up here so that it will be not distracting and overlap, distracting over here. What I can do is that right click to this format legend. You will see this pops up. Show the legend without overlapping or show the legend with overlapping. I turn this off without overlapping the chart. Then I can move this into the corner here. Perhaps maybe make it into a vertical looking instead of horizontal. Right? So now you have a chart that is nicely done, but not yet. There are some things that we need to do. Firstly, we need to also have to name the axis, because people don't know what are these two axes all about. So to turn on the axis name, you click on this and there's an axis title, right? So axis title, you turn it on and it will give you the y-axis and the x-axis. Now it's overlapping. We need to adjust to give some space and name this axis to month. And perhaps maybe bring it near to the first point and click to the chart and maybe move a bit so that you have a space for the axis title. This is revenue, right? And bring this to on top here. Okay, so now I have two parts, which is revenue and the month. Bring this nearer back here to align back to January. Okay, so this is a bit of cleaning up. So this is not the only way, so you can do your own style of how you want to clean the chart, as long as the chart is neat and clean. right? So sometimes people would like to show the line in a more smoother way instead of like so jagged like this. So you can click on the line, go to, is it here, smooth line. Okay, again right click, format data series, you go to the fill and line, scroll down, there is a smooth line. You click on smooth line, the line becomes smoother instead of zigzag jagged like that. So this one, I click on it, right click, format data series, and you choose to the icon number 1, line and fill and line. Scroll down until you find this smooth line, click on it, and then the line will turn into a smooth line like this. Okay, so usually in my way of visualizing, I would like to have the current year to be more darker color, and the previous year will be more of the softer color. That is part of data visualization, right? So here now I change this line, and I go to format and change this line to a more lighter color. Like for example, if I want to use blue, right, for my team, I use a lighter blue for this one, 2020, and for year 2021 I will use the darker blue type of a line. So now I have my year 2020 and year 2021 done. So let's transfer this to the dashboard. Click on that chart and then hit Ctrl X, it will cut it off, and then go back to this particular area, right, and hit Ctrl V, it will paste our chart in, right? So what we need to do is maybe tidy it up. Then I don't need this anymore because that is a placeholder. I just bring my chart in and then adjust a bit, go according to that particular specific location. And because this chart has a border, I click on this chart and then go to format, outline, I choose no outline, and you will see that now there is no border. Maybe the revenue, adjust it a bit so that you have more space in between. Okay, so now this is how it looks. I have my trend, I have my charts ready and clean up, and this is to show the sales trend month over month, month after month for 2020 and 2021. Okay, so once we have visualized the revenue trend, the next visualization is to create charts for store performance. So as we know, store performance is a categorical type of data, so it is good to use bar chart to show a category data. So what we can do, we are not using this table because this table, the ranking is jumbled up. That's what we have created, another table that is sorted with the ranking. In order to create a bar chart, let's think of what we want to be included in the bar chart. Definitely the store, and also we want to show the bar as a revenue number, right? So we will highlight this range from store and also revenue, and go to insert and look for a bar chart, 2D bar chart, and you will see it come like this. So the problem right now is that this chart is a default looking chart. I always like to format the chart to look more clean and nice, right? So what we can do is that take off the title, because we will do the title in the dashboard. I don't need the axis, I delete the axis for the click on it and delete, and then I don't need the grid line, I will delete it. So next thing is maybe increase the width of the line, the bar. Right click on data series and you will see that it's popping up over here, gap width. Then you reduce the gap width so that it looks more bigger, right, thicker. Okay, then I change this into, okay, now it looks good. The only thing I want to show the value, right? So I click on any of the bar, it will select all the bar. I click this chart elements and include data label. Where do you want to include? Kick this out, center, inside out, or inside base. So I will choose inside end so that it will be at the end. And because of the color, now it is white color, I change this into white color so that it has a contrast between the text and also the bar, right? I change this to white color, then you will see that it's a contrast. Good. So that is how we create the bar chart. The problem is that, yeah, for this particular chart is I need to build certain logic inside, because when we select the region, there is certain store that is tied to the region. Let's say, for example, Penang, right? These are the 3 regions that tie to these 3, right? So the chart needs to go according to the message that we want to bring out, because right now it's showing all the regions out, but because we select that particular region, our chart should only highlight only these 3 locations, which is Georgetown, Komtar, and Bayan Lepas. So in order to do that, we need a combo chart. Still remember, we need to overlap a chart onto another chart so that it will bring up these 3 things only. So to do that, we need another column called selection, right? That is where I have embedded this particular formula inside. So you just copy this formula, and it will show another chart that if, let's say, like, this in percentage, I don't want the percentage, I want to keep the formatting of this, I just copy format and then apply to all here, and now there is a formatting. So if anything that is like this, right, if Penang, you see, if T3 equals to Penang, then I will show that particular revenue. So what I can do is to click on this chart, right? I go to chart format and then select data. So I want to add another series in the same chart. I go add, what to add, the name for this, maybe I just put the selection as a name, and then the range of the data is from here to down here. Is it true? Yeah. Just click OK and OK and OK. You see that there is another chart that has created, which is in orange color. So what I can do is that I overlap it right now to the first chart so that it sees that an illusion that something that is overlapping. So right, I can do is format data series. Do you see series overlapping? I make it to 100%. Now it is overlapping, right? Now it is overlapping. Okay, so just tidy it up a bit. Let's say now the one that is not selected, and I want to make the bar into color a bit more lighter, or fill color to a more lighter blue, right? The one that is selected, which is this 3, then I make it into a more darker color, right? Okay, so over here, that is for this one, then I don't need the so-called the label lah. I want to show the label only for the selected. So I click on the selected one and click plus sign, and then I go for data label and inside base or inside n, right? Inside base or inside n, sorry. Is it? Yeah, it show it over here. Why? Because 0, 0 is here, because 0, 0 is nothing. Right? For this is 0, 0. You see all these 0, 0, that's why it is listed here. So I change to white color so that it show the contrast. Okay, so whatever that is 0, I don't want to show it. So how to show that is no 0? I right click, right, go to format data label, go to number. So remember, we need to hard code it. So this one is currency. I put currency back to RM, right? No decimal point, put 0. The only thing I need to format it, right? Format it over here. So if semicolon, right, another semicolon, then only I add it, and you will see that, right? The function is the format is remain the currency, and then you will put 2 semicolon at the back and add. It will turn off others and just show these 3 Bayan Lepas only. Okay, let's test this out. Let's say in the dashboard, I change this, instead of Penang, I put Johor, and all the data should change to Johor, and my chart should only show Johor's store location, which are Senai, Skudai, and Iskandar. You see that only these 3 bar is highlighted, other bars they never show anything. So then now this chart is ready. What I need to do is cut this chart, go back to my dashboard, paste it. And where to paste it, right? Okay, make it smaller first. Undo. Okay, where to paste it to this, right? So I just see whether I can fit it here, maybe make it bigger, right? Make it smaller like this. Now then this one is nicely fit over here. If you think that the text is a bit small, we can increase the text to a more bigger, right? So once we increase the text, the problem is that the color change, right? We have to redo it again and make it this bold, maybe. No, not bold, not fit. Then it will be like this. And because of the border, we turn off the border, go to format, shape outline, change no outline, and then there is no border, right? So we need to delete the box at the back though. Take this out first. Yeah, the back. Delete it so that you have the chart that is fit nicely over here. So this is how we created the store performance by ranking for the revenue. We have created a bar chart for the store performance. The next chart we want to show is to see a comparison month over month to see how these stores performs. So we are using the same concept to have a complementary chart that is overlapping each other in order to bring out the message for the particular regions that we have selected. So right now, if Penang selected, the store ranking chart is showing it correctly, but for the month over month chart, we also want the same concept. So that's why you will see that in the calculation here, we have prepared another column also to apply back the same steps. Okay, so the formula is up there. We just copy this formula and paste it over here, drag it down. That's why now Penang is selected. That's why you will see that this tree is being shown. Okay, so using back the same, this is a categorical month over month. We also using back a categorical type of chart, which is a bar chart. So select this range and then also month over month and go to insert 2D bar chart. Then let's tidy this a bit. I don't need the title, I don't need the axis, I don't need the grid line, right? So I still need the line to show that there is a positive negative thingy, but because the label is the label is distracting. The label is distracting because it's overlapping. So what I need to do, click on this axis and format axis, and you will see that there is what we call label over here, right? Label position next to axis or at the high or the low. Change it to the low, then it will bring the axis label at this side. Okay, so now I don't want to show the label because I will be putting side by side with the original store ranking. I will be using the same label name over here. So that's why I need to hide this. So in order to hide a label, what we can do, right click on format axis. What we have learned is at the number here, we learn about putting 3 semicolon, right, to hide certain thing. So let's apply this one and see how. When I apply, it still remain here. Why? Because this only can hide numbers, not text, yeah, not the axis text. So that's why we have an issue here to hide this thing. The trick that we want to do now is to hide this, is to select, go to select data, right? Over here, we click edit. Instead of selecting from this range, I will select it from a blank cell and then just OK. Okay, and you will see that it will select a blank, right? Blank cell. There is nothing here already. So what I need to do now, maybe make it smaller, and you will see that there is a nice range of data charts being shown. The problem now is I want to show positive, negative, right? Positive, negative. But now I want to make the overlapping things first, just like how the concept of overlapping the complementary chart with the original chart. So here I go back to select data. I want to add another data range. Here I add. It asks where is the additional thing. The name is, I select it from the top here, right? The range, I will select it from this range, right? Then OK and OK and OK. Now use back the same methods, overlap it, right? Like click to this chart and overlap it to 100%. Now is overlapping. Maybe the bar also we make it to the width of bigger width, right? And this 42%. Okay, so now the problem is we want to make the color, right? Click on this original one and then change the color. Go to the fill and change this to maybe the second blue, which is a lighter blue. Whatever that is being chosen, I want to make it to a darker blue. So now that is being chosen. But the problem is people relate positive negative into a different color. More on positive is green color, negative is red color, right? So instead of putting this blue color, I will put this as an invert if negative, right? So whatever that is color positive, I make it to green color, right? Maybe a brighter green. Whatever that is negative, I make it to red color. Okay, so that is how this positive negative work. And I also want to show the label for the one that I have selected. Still remain here, right? I click on this plus sign and then add chart data label outside, maybe outside N, right? Outside N, and it will show all the labeling. The problem is even 0 they also show. So in order to do that, still remember the tricks. Click on the label, right click, format data label, at the number here. What we want to choose is, maybe this is percentage, we choose percentage definitely, and no decimal, 0, so that it will round it up. And instead of like this, I put 2 semicolon. Remember, add 2 more semicolon and add it in. It will hidden all the zeroized number and only remain the number that we are showing. So now once we have this, we transfer this into the main dashboard page, right? Cut this out and then go to the dashboard and paste it in, and now you have this dashboard. You have this particular chart, and bring it near to this chart and make it bigger, right? Click on this chart first and see what is the size. Go to format. The size right now is 13.64. Maybe make it to 14, right? 14. So then this chart also I make it to 14, right? Now I have a chart that is almost identical in the height, and I can bring it near to each other. Okay, so I will put the outline to no outline, and the fill also I make it to no fill, because I don't want it to be overlapping to this particular chart. And the back, this box, I delete it, no longer in use. You will see that now it looks nice that I have something is a raw store ranking, and this is the month-over-month percentage, right? So instead of putting it like this, maybe I will put a text box. I copy this text box and then just let people know that this is about revenue, and then use back the same text box. I copy it, I want to put here, and then tell people that this is about month-over-month percentage change, right? Percentage different, right? So I have these two indicated at the bottom here, right? Sometimes this is good at the bottom, or else you want to put at the top also can, so it will be more top. And then I choose these two chart, I bring it down a bit so that it will not overlap it. So now I can see that very clear. Let's test it out. If I change to Johor, you will see that that is a Johor. If I change to Kuala Lumpur, then it shows Kuala Lumpur. And now what happened? You see that positive, it shows the percentage, but negative is never shown. Let's fix this up. Yeah, click back to the label, data label, and go to data label formatting. And what is happening is, because still remember the arrangement of the formatting is whatever in front before the first semicolon is about positive, the second semicolon we need to include back the same formatting for the second semicolon, and then only third semicolon we put nothing and add it, and you will see that it will show a negative number, right? But because I need a negative sign, so what I need to do over here, back here, instead of putting 0%, I put negative 0% and add. You will see that negative sign, it will put negative sign. Okay, make the text size consistent. This text size is 11, so all this I also make it to 11. I increase to 11, right, so that it looks consistent, right? If the arrangement got a bit distorted, so we just arrange it back. Now it's like side by side. Okay, so now that is pretty much that we have a store ranking visualization. Let's test it out. Let's say if I put Penang, now Penang is being shown. If I put Johor, Johor is being shown, right? That is how we work on this store ranking visualization. Alright, so we are almost done with the dashboard. Left only 2 more visualizations that we would like to configure or create. One is the top 5 products and bottom 5 products. So in order to get the visual out, still remember that we have already created this table. Okay, so we are not necessary to create a chart out of this because it's just a listing. It's as good as just include the table in the dashboard. So 2 ways we can do. Still remember the way that we copy this particular table, and we can go and paste it as an image link, and then that's it. I can put it over here and link it up, right? So I can link it up, or else if over here, if I want to make it to a heat map, right, from the highest to the lowest, meaning that conditioning, I put a green color to the highest one will be greener color, so see whether the image will go according. The problem is the image changed, right? You see it changed, so we can delete this particular box and then put it over here and make it like a kind of a visual that is linked back to the original one. But the problem is that I cannot do much formatting, right? I cannot do much formatting because of the image. I would prefer it will be more flexible for me to tidy the table up. That's why I will do it directly in the dashboard itself. Okay, how to do it directly in the dashboard? As we know, we need 3 columns, right? One is for the, make it smaller, right? Okay, one is for the product, another one is for the revenue, another one is for the thing. But the problem is when I go all this, right, the whole thing go haywire. Let me undo until the original state first. What we can do is click any one of these, go and group and ungroup it. What I want is to group everything together so that I lock it. I don't want the visual to move when I move any of the cells, right? So I go to find select object, and I window select everything, and then right click and group it. You see that now it's being grouped. So after being grouped, you right click and go to size properties. There is one called go to size properties. Under properties, there is one don't move or size with cell, right? So right now it's move and size with cell. If I change any cell, right, move, right, you see that everything will move accordingly, right? So I don't want them to move according to the cell. I turn on this one, don't move or size with cell. Even you see, if I move the cell, right, everything will remain. Even my cells is getting bigger, the size of this column is getting bigger, but other than that, everything remain as locked with the shape and also size. Okay, so that is how we don't move by cell with a size with cell and turn it on. Okay, so now we need to create the 3 columns, right, just to house these 3 things, the product, revenue, and MOM, right? By what? So what we need to do is to get some space over here. Maybe this one I make it smaller. The 1 column for product, 1 column for revenue, another column for month revenue. So I have these 3 columns, right? So let's copy these 3 and then paste it over here. I can put right click, just paste the numbering, which is the text, right? Then I centralize it, make it into center, and press bold it, and just add a fine line to differentiate the header and the text. So this one I will use a formula, just equals to data prep, and then I choose this and enter, right? You see that I have this, then I just drag down for 5 more, all right, that it pick up this, and then I drag it for the others, right? So now I have all being populated. So I need the formatting for this. I just copy the formatting of this currency and apply to all here. Now it is formatted. So it looks a bit narrow. What I would do is I will increase the height of for this row. Oh, it's a bit too much, a bit smaller, and then I put it to a center here, I mean align to middle, and it looks a bit nicer. Now perhaps maybe if you want, we can centralize this particular wording. Okay, so one thing we have completed. Okay, so once we have created the top 5 table, maybe just give some color or perspective ranging from the highest to the lowest by using the conditional formatting, where we apply to the green to light, and then just add a total for these just to show that what is the total number, and centralize it and make it into green color just to match back to maybe darker green, right? Bold it and give some line on top so that it can differentiate that is the total. Right, so we have completed for the top 5. Now repeat the same steps for bottom 5 products. So let's delete this particular box, not necessary, and then I just copy the header, right, and then just apply the same formula, point it back to the bottom 5, right, and I just drag 5 until this one is 2, no need, right, and then I drag it over. So let's have the same height. The height for this is about 19.8, so maybe I also apply the same height for this, right click and go for format row height 19.8, and it will increase, right? So perhaps maybe I will just add a total sum just like just now, and then this total sum I want to add one more line on top, and I want to keep the formatting. I just copy the formatting from top and then just apply to everything, right? Okay, so sometimes a value, right, like currency like this, it is good to arrange it to the left hand side. Numbers, it is good to arrange to the left hand side so that we can see the small or big value, right? So same thing for the header. This product header we can arrange to the left, right? So now perhaps maybe apply the same conditional formatting. Instead of green color, this time I put red color, right? Red color, and maybe the highest, the largest one I will put more, just make it to the other way. The largest one I will put more red, and this is the total. Because this total I want to put a line and then change this text to a more red color to suit back to the same theme. So now you see roughly everything mostly completed, right? It looks nice with all the visual is there. And let's test the selection. If my selection is Penang, will it change accordingly? Yes, it changed. Good job. Now it function. The interactivity is functioning. When I change, then it will change accordingly. So now it's just want to tidy up little bit of things. If you want to remain like this is good enough, maybe perhaps you want to change all these text box, right, to a more white color text, or the shape to a more darker color shape. Then it's as good as just a simple dashboard like this. But we want storytelling, right? As what we have learned, at the end we want to tell certain message. In order to tell certain message, our header, instead of remaining it as a categorical header like this, why not we put it in a sentence case as in like a description of something, or it's like a conversational type of sentences, right? First thing, maybe the title I make it a bit bigger so that it looks more grand, right? and then over here instead of putting revenue, maybe I just put a description over here, as in like this was the revenue we drove in ... right? So make it to a more longer, and as if like we are talking like this revenue, which is this one. Okay, over here instead of talking sales trend, maybe turn this into saying that ... and the revenue, right, trend in 2021, right, versus 2020. So that is where we put it, this 2021 versus 2022. That is a message, right? So another message over here, instead of put store ranking, I can tell people that this is how our stores rank compare to other regions. Okay, and I make it big like this, right? So instead of these top 5 products, maybe I will say that this is where these products drove growth ... right? So it's growing growth, right, this one, and then continue this one, maybe say ... and these products cause losses, correct? What? Causing losses. Okay, so you see that I have messaging, so I don't need a border for all this, just to make sure that then I use outline, no outline. Now it looks clean and there is a messaging. So I want to tie the message to with the color, right? Revenue, instead of putting revenue, maybe I all this I make it bold. Maybe this revenue color I make it to a blue color, and then this text, right, blue color, and then this particular text I make it to blue color also, so that it will sync back to the same color as the revenue, right? And this one, because 2021 is the 2021 is a dark blue color, I use the dark blue color for the text. And then because 2020 is the line is light blue color, I change the text according to the light blue color, right? So with that, right, indirectly I am using the text here as the legend. So with that, I can delete the legends just to save some visual space to make that this particular sentence as part of the legend for this. Same thing for here. You see that our store actually is in blue, dark blue color. I can put this into a dark blue color to represent back to the stores. And then other regions, right, which is other regions, which is light blue color, I change it to light blue color. So that is the stories that ties. And same thing for drive growth. I want to make it to green color, as in the green color for this this green color, right? Causing loss also, I make it to a red color, that is sync it back to the visuals that we are seeing. So now this particular slides looks nice with all the things is being planned out. So over here, maybe instead of putting regions and selection, we just type in something telling people that how did, right? How did KL, right? Okay, so now how did Kuala Lumpur, what? I just want to add another sentence, continue on selling that, perform in, right? Then I add another more text box, right? In where? So for this one, instead of typing, right, I will just put a formula equal to, I will pick it up from the current here, right? And perhaps makes all the text looks more consistent, like just now is Calibri, right? And 11, right? Or make it bigger and bold it. Okay, back the same formatting for this box. Okay, we add one more over here to put it to question mark. Okay, so that is how, right? We can adjust it. We can adjust it to a more nearer or whatsoever. Okay, so that is how, if we change this one, see Johor, it will change. How did Johor perform like this, right? When we change this one, how did Penang perform like this, and how did Kuala Lumpur perform like this. And lastly, the logo, if I want to include, I can insert from where you can insert a picture. Let's see a picture illustrations, get a picture from the device and just get the logo and put it here. Okay, now it's almost done where we have all the visuals, and the last thing that we need to do is to lock it, right? As in lock it, as in like go to select object and then window everything, group it first, right click, group, and group the whole thing, and then apply back the same thing, size and properties. Make sure that the properties is turned on as don't move or size with cell. Why? Because we don't want people to this dashboard is being manipulated or moved, right? So once we have that, you see that if I click this, alright, so after that then we click try this, see whether Johor, it will change to Johor, and then Penang is changed to Penang. So that is pretty much about how we create this particular dashboard. You see, it's a long path that we use data and we change it to table, and then we decide the key metrics and then use formulas, functions in deriving to the key metrics that we want, and then slowly build and then make it into a more storytelling type of dashboard. So I hope that you follow the steps, do practice and get to as close as possible. As I said, this is not the only way, yeah, no cast in stone. It's up to you how you want to rearrange, reformat the whole thing. So at least now you get the concept and then try to explore as much as possible. Alright, with that, thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Bye.